take a little time to think things over. I better read between the lines in case I need it when I'm older.
Now this mountain I must climb feels like a world upon my shoulders. Through clouds I see love shine. It keeps me warm as life grows colder.
In my life there's been heartache and pain, and I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now, I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I only know what love is. I want you to show me. Feel what love is. I know you can show me. Oh,
I'm gonna take a little time to look around me. I've got nowhere left to hide. Looks like love has finally found me.
in my life there's been heartache and pain, and I don't know if I can face it again. Can't stop now, I've traveled so far to change this lonely life. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is.
I know you can show me.
I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. I know you can show me.
Welcome to the 17th Annual Human Growth Foundation Virtual Awards Gala. With platinum sponsors BioMarin and Ascendus Pharma, maker of Skytrofa. With gold sponsors Arbor Pharmaceuticals, Pfizer, Endo Pharmaceuticals, Novo Nordisk, and bronze sponsor Ipsen. With host Mark Christopher Lawrence. Entertainment provided by Amelia Feinfrock. Special awards to Dr. Michael Levine, Dr. Lourdes Ibanez, and Dr. Sally Radovic. Introducing the Marshalls and the Love family. Please welcome your host, actor, comedian, Mark Christopher Lawrence.
Welcome to the 17th Annual Human Growth Foundation Virtual Awards Gala. I am so excited to participate in this year's event. It's the second consecutive year that I've had the honor to host the virtual gala. Now, while I miss seeing all of you in person at the gala, this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to come together from around the world. So, without further ado, please welcome the president of the Human Growth Foundation, Dr. Joel Stillman.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 17th Annual Human Growth Foundation Virtual Awards Gala. I want to take a moment and recognize our hardworking staff and their collective resolve. Our Executive Director, Patty Costa, our Director of Development and Communications, Daphne Plump, and Executive Assistant, Amalia Mathlis. I also want to thank the Human Growth Foundation Board of Directors for their work and their creative input throughout this year. Even in the face of challenges that 2021 presented, our team persevered and achieved many notable accomplishments, which I will mention in just a few moments. But first, I want to take a moment and thank our sponsors. We have many great and generous gala sponsors, and your support has been vital for us as we've provided services and education throughout the year. Now, many of you know that a lot has happened since a year ago. It was my sincere wish, and is my sincere wish, that most of us are in a better place than we were last December. We're grateful, though, for many of you for joining us and for watching this gala and for your support that you provided in many ways. Because of that unwavering support this year, our nonprofit was able to beat the odds and produce more than 30 virtual events. We've had a record-breaking number of virtual attendees at 15,000 for our various events. And we were able to launch an all-new podcast series. We were able to increase our resources for patients and caregivers exponentially with the help of all of our partners. And our membership grew by 25% as well. These are all phenomenal, I believe, accomplishments that we've had for this year. And I hope that all of you will agree as well that this has been a good year for us for fulfilling our mission in reaching new heights. I remember now, thinking back to December of 2020, I had received my first COVID vaccine at the end of the year, and I had envisioned that 2021 would see the rapid taming of this pandemic, and I expected that all of us would be together in person for this year's gala celebration. Sadly, though, this has not been reality. Yet, I think that there are a lot of things that still lead me to feel that there's a great deal of optimism. I think that we've all realized now that the pandemic does give us opportunities, and for the Human Growth Foundation, it's given us a rare opportunity to rethink our mission and develop a more robust strategy for next year and for the years to follow. Virtual programs have sustained our mission for these last 2 years and will remain a strong resource for this coming year as we continue to innovate to provide research, education, patient support, and patient advocacy for children and adults with rare growth and bone conditions and growth hormone deficiency. Going forward, we will be introducing hybrid events. These will provide our population, patients, families, and healthcare providers with both the opportunity to attend in person, but also still have the opportunity to have virtual participation, thereby, again, hopefully maximizing our reach and our impact that we're going to have. Our Reaching New Heights mission is also going to take us beyond the United States as we send medical experts globally to areas that need them most. We will, of course, continue to grow and engage with children and families with more education and awareness of medical conditions, which are part of our mission. We will also stretch our arms out farther into the general community, building relationships in an effort to raise awareness of rare childhood growth disorders and the importance of early diagnosis and treatment. These new initiatives will assure that the Human Growth Foundation remains not only a national leader, but also a global one as well recognized in providing research, education, patient support, and patient advocacy. I feel a great deal of excitement for the future of the Human Growth Foundation, and I'm grateful, and I think I speak for the Human Growth Foundation staff in the support that you all have provided us. And I hope that you'll continue with this support and join us in our endeavors, as we can't accomplish our goals without your support. Your generosity and your loyalty are greatly appreciated. Many of you I know have already contributed to this charitable event, and I want to thank you. If you've not had the chance, I encourage you to visit our website at hgfound.org and click on the donate button in the center of the screen. Of course, I would even encourage you more to become a member of the Human Growth Foundation. We have many benefits, which I believe are very essential to both people in the medical field as well as family and children and caregivers. As I wrap up my talk, I want to again take a moment and recognize the three people which we will be honoring this evening. These are our friends and our colleagues whose gifts of service span many years and have made an enormous impact in the field of endocrinology. We will be honoring Dr. Lourdes Ibanez with this year's Visionary Award. Dr. Ibanez has a long, distinguished career in research and medical care. We will honor Dr. Michael Levine. Dr. Levine will receive the Lifetime Achievement Award. This year is also going to mark a new award named after the first president of the Human Growth Foundation, Dr. Robert Blizzard. Dr. Sally Radovic will receive the Robert Blizzard Founders Award for her stellar work in pediatric endocrinology and growth disorders. As I wrap up, I also am very excited to share with you all through montages and the rest of the program the amazing work that the Human Growth Foundation does throughout the growth and bone community. Thank you all again for attending this year's Gala.
I was always smaller than all the other kids all throughout elementary school. But it wasn't till 4th grade where I really noticed that there'd be all these tall kids and then me. And in those pictures, I looked like I was years younger than all the kids.
We're both, very concerned about that. We watched him very closely. We were very protective of him.
We knew that we had to do something.
Every parent wants their child to measure up, whether in school, in sports, or in level of maturity. A parent's desire is for their child to at least be equal to the level of their peers. But what if your child doesn't measure up in stature?
You worry about your child. You want to find out, is there something you can do?
In children, there is often a feeling of anxiety about their small stature and slow growth. Often, they are teased, bullied, and it may be damaging for their sense of self-esteem.
Some of the kids tried to get up in my face and make fun of it more and be like, yeah, you have a condition and there's nothing you can do about it.
It made me feel a little embarrassed and sad.
The frustration is often compounded when parents are not sure what causes their child's growth failure or what to do about it.
It depends on the etiology. Some of those particular patients could be treated, so the diagnosis is very important. What is the cause of growth disorder, and some specific treatment could be implemented.
This is why the Human Growth Foundation was established in 1965, so no family travels this path alone. It is the oldest and largest nonprofit of its kind, with parents and friends of children and adults with growth problems, physicians, and other healthcare professionals.
The Human Growth Foundation has been an excellent source of support and assistance for us.
I'm about to cry.
The Human Growth Foundation mission encompasses areas of education, outreach, and advocacy.
We have an educational committee who writes booklets about the different disorders that are related to growth. They're written in a way that parents can fully understand the medical aspect of what their child is going through. We also have an internet support list on our website, one for the parents of children and one for adults.
That's why I'm very excited to be part of the Human Growth Foundation. It has been a tremendous amount of support from being an educator to the providers in the community or being an advocate for the patients and their family and helping them understand that we are there for them.
I'm very proud of all of the people that work in the Human Growth Foundation. Most of us are volunteer medical professionals that have a passion for growth disorders, and the expertise that we bring to the table really helps as far as crafting the message and the information that we can provide going forward in the future.
I had an excellent endocrinologist. She was the one who recommended HGF. Those are the things that matter to me.
Recognized as a global leader in endocrine care and advocacy, the Human Growth Foundation offers a wide range of workshops for parents.
It's a great educational experience, and it helps all levels of all parents to understand what's going on.
The organization works to keep physicians and other healthcare providers abreast of the latest developments with dedicated workshops across the country and even overseas.
Without Human Growth Foundation helping us to get together, we're not able to collaborate and share ideas and thoughts and approaches.
Take your mark. Set.
The Human Growth Foundation brings the community together with family fun events and calls on the aid of Hollywood celebrities to increase awareness of growth disorders and the importance of early diagnosis and treatment.
Helping people is a passion of mine, and it's just really an honor for me to be able to give back.
And while the Human Growth Foundation is making a difference in the lives of those impacted by growth disorders and growth hormone deficiency, it needs you, the community, to be a part of this growing solution.
If you can donate, please do so. We need your help.
Helping people is good.
This is the one gift that keeps on growing.
Was born at 40 weeks, planned C-section, September 8th, 2015. We were informed by our pediatrician that Mac's thyroid wasn't working and that he had a heart murmur. From 2 weeks on, we were in the hands of his pediatric endocrinologist, Dr. Pia.
How are you doing? And how's everything going on today?
Mac has a rare genetic condition. We call it pseudo-hypoparathyroidism type 1A. The estimated prevalence of this condition is around 0.2 to 1.1 per 100,000 population. This condition usually is misdiagnosed or undetected in the early stage of their life. When they present with early stages, they present with short statured, obese. Their limbs, their fingers are going to be a little short. They have round faces.
Mac went from 6 pounds, 15 ounces when he was born to 35 pounds at 10 months old.
Our 3.5-year-old son is 36 pounds. Mac was 36 pounds at 10 months. You know, everywhere we went, the second he walked into a room, that was the first thing people would notice. And you can feel them looking at you and wanting to know, you know, goodness, what are you feeding your child? Lots of uncomfortable laughs. And
why are you wearing those clothes? Why is your foot so big? And it's like, you know, what can we do to make that stop?
So far, we do not have any cure for this, as we are still in the process of fully understanding these conditions. At the moment, what we can do is manage all the conditions that they go through.
There's not enough research or advocacy, so we don't know what's going to happen.
That's why I'm very excited to be part of the Human Growth Foundation. It has been a tremendous amount of support that I'm getting from my whole team. So we are addressing it in a very different manner, from being an educator to the providers in the community, or being an advocate for the patients and their family, and helping them understand that we are there for them.
All righty, man, we are done.
We're very hopeful with Dr. Pia and his group of medical physicians and professionals that we can do something more.
We have a big, broad technology platform that we can apply in multiple therapeutic areas. TransCon is a huge innovation in product design. It's based on pure science.
We believe that we can do it different. We can do a huge difference.
We're patient-focused. We want to optimize patient care and provide a delivery method that is easy for patients.
Yes, we made the life of a patient better by generating a completely new drug that hasn't been there before.
It enables us to develop products that can improve products that are already on the market, or even put new products on the market that can improve patients' lives.
TransCon technology gives us the opportunity to work with drugs that might have a huge potential for patients, but might have shortcomings that were inhibiting them so far for being applied for patients.
The most important feature for the TransCon technology is that it's releasing the unmodified drug.
We're taking this unmodified drug and having this optimized PK and therefore predictable efficacy as well as safety.
TransCon technology is driven by unmet medical need. There's almost no molecule that we cannot develop with TransCon technology.
We can really cover the breadth of many different active molecules.
The success in endocrinology validates the technology both in preclinical studies as well as now we have significant achievements in the clinic from 3 different programs.
It's exciting to think about the next disease state or condition to which we can apply TransCon.
We believe it's important what we do. It's important to go out and really utilize our technology in the entire breadth that we are capable of.
The mission of Ascendis is to make transformative medicines for the patients. And I think the TransCon technology is uniquely suited to this. We are well on our way in endocrinology of solving a lot of unmet medical need. We just got started in oncology recently, expanding that pipeline, moving that towards the clinic, and we're looking forward to applying TransCon broadly in other therapeutic areas. We're just getting started.
Thank you, Platinum sponsor Ascendis Pharma, maker of Skytrofa, for your generous support of this year's gala. The Human Growth Foundation provides support to more than 23,000 members and the extended community. The foundation is able to keep reaching new heights with the guidance of its leadership team. Please join me in welcoming the Executive Director of the Human Growth Foundation, my friend, Patricia Costa.
Good evening, everyone. It is great to have so many people join us in celebrating our 17th annual award gala. Last year at this time, we were all grateful we had survived 2020 and believed that 2021 would restore the life we once knew and now know to treasure. But as the saying goes, we make plans and God laughs. The COVID pandemic created many challenges for HGF to succeed in fulfilling our mission statement, which is to educate, advocate, support, and provide research. By learning to think outside the box, by leaving our comfort zone, and journeying on paths that we were afraid to travel, we met all of those challenges. Not only did we meet them, but we far exceeded our own expectations. Many of our venues had close to 900 attendees. By hosting all of our venues virtually, we were able to have individuals from around the world participate in the services we provide. Seeing the magnitude of healthcare professionals and families joining our venues, it has been decided that going forward, we will host all of our venues as a hybrid. This past year, we hosted 34 different venues. We had many educational meetings, 3 different lecture series, one on growth, puberty, and one on bone. We had podcasts. Our growth awareness walk was held on both the East and the West Coast. We had Family Day, our Say No Bullying Festival, and the Gala. It was a very busy and extremely productive year. At this time, I would like to thank our members, our private donors, and the companies who generously donate and help to sponsor these events. Without your help, these events would not be possible. In closing, I would like to say that just as one of our goals is to help every child reach their full potential so that they can see eye to eye with everyone, it is my hope that at our next gala, we might also be able to see each other eye to eye. May you and your family have a healthy, happy, and safe holiday season. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Good night.
There ain't no gold in this river that I've been washing my hands in forever. I know there is hope in these waters, but I can't bring myself to swim when I am drowning in this silence. Baby, let me in. Go easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me. Had no time to choose what I chose to do. So go easy on me. There ain't no room for our things to change when we are both so deeply stuck in our ways. You can't deny it, how hard I've tried. I changed who I was to put you both first, but now I give up. Go easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me. I had no time to choose what I chose to do. So go easy on me. I good intentions and the highest roads, but I
She was pretty bow-legged, even at 2, and we thought maybe she would outgrow it as she started walking more, but she didn't. Actually, last year is when she did the genetic testing, and the genetic testing came back to where she had the X-linked hypophosphatemic, if I'm saying that right, rickets.
And during the night, mostly, I have leg problems and I can't really go back to sleep. Where my leg just hurts non-stop until my mom gives me medicine.
I mean, I thought it was honestly something that
older people.
Yeah, older people got.
Right.
And when he told us that's what he thought she had, it was a little bit like, wow, you know, I didn't know children could get that. It was a little bit of a process to kind of let it sink in and figure out what we need to do. She is small stature. She is less than 1 percentile on the charts. But, you know, and I talked to Dr. Stillman about that. I'm like, okay, she's obviously smaller than everyone else. And when she was growing and when she was 3 or 4, it worried me. And I was like, he's like, she is perfect for who she is and the way her bones should be and the weight that she has for her bones. This treatment plan we're on is really working right now, so we kind of want to stay where we are. Every year or so we do x-rays and kidney ultrasounds to make sure she doesn't have any extra calcium build up in her kidneys.
We will see more of the Love family and the Marshall family during 2022 as the Human Growth Foundation spotlights rare growth disorders in their all-new 2022 documentary, Reaching New Heights, Rare Growth Disorders. Please welcome the immediate past president of the Human Growth Foundation, Dr. Duke.
Hello, my name is Dr. Pisit Pitakchiwanon. I am a past president of the Human Growth Foundation. The Human Growth Foundation was founded in 1965 by 5 families with children with growth hormone deficiency. In 2004, the Human Growth Foundation awarded their first Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Robert M. Blizzard. Dr. Blizzard has an illustrious career devoted to the ideal exemplified by, as many will still call, scientific excellence, integrity, and dedication to the health of children. Dr. Blizzard passed away in 2019, but his legacy lives on. We see it in the students whom he once mentors and who are now stellar physicians, and we see it in his former patients who have reached new heights. Very few endocrinologists have since made an impact on growth. This is why it gives me great pleasure to introduce a physician who is both friend, mentor, and inspiration. Dr. Sally Radovic is the Henry Rutger Term Chair and Professor of Pediatrics and Senior Associate Dean for Clinical and Translational Research at Rutger Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. Prior to this position, she was the Division Director of Pediatric Endocrinology and the Vice Chair for Research in the Department of Pediatrics at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. Dr. Radovic is a specialist in growth and development and pubertal disorder in children. Her research is focused on determining the regulation of the gonadotropin-releasing hormone gene, which has a central role in controlling the onset of puberty. Her group was the first to generate GnRH-expressing neuronal cell lines and in vitro map the cellular regulation of these critical genes by growth factors that have increased knowledge in the relationship between growth, puberty, and nutrition. She has developed genetically modified mouse models to elucidate mechanism of in vitro regulation of GnRH secretion in response to neuroendocrine and growth factor stimulation and sex steroid feedback regulation. Of particular interest has been to determine the role of neurotransmitter and hormone receptor in mediating the increase in GnRH secretion to adult levels at puberty, which result in the attainment of fertility. These studies
will provide insight into pubertal disorder, PCOS, as well as provide future therapies for infertility. Dr. Radovic has trained over 75 pre-doctoral students, postdoctoral fellows, and junior faculty in scientific research, and she is the PI of the Rutgers CTSA KL2 program. It is with great pleasure that Human Growth Foundation awards Dr. Sally Radovic with the Robert M. Blizzard Award.
It is an incredible honor to be selected for the Robert Blizzard Award from the Human Growth Foundation. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Foundation for its continued support of patients, families, and caregivers. The Foundation also supports early phase career investigators and research in growth and bone health. I sincerely appreciate this effort as I began my career with a foundation grant to study the genetics of growth hormone deficiency. Thus, this award has special significance for me, as my first award was also foundation supported from the Genentech Foundation for Growth and Development, and which was led by Dr. Blizzard. Dr. Blizzard is one of the giants of pediatric endocrinology and one of the pioneers in the story of growth hormone. Although he was never my direct mentor, he supported my career from afar in thought and spirit. My research on the genetics of growth hormone deficiency rested on the foundation that he established for the field. What I learned was the importance of the patient. Bob was first a pediatrician, a clinician who took care of his patients. His focus was always about the child and the family. Caring for his patients became the basis for the research questions that he asked. Indeed, my initial description of a mutation in the first known transcription factor resulting in a deficiency of growth hormone, then called PIT1 and now referred to as POW1F1, was of a single child who I had cared for. I had dinner with Bob, Claude Mejean, and Mel Grumbach in New York City during the international meeting of the Pediatric Endocrine Society. All three were the first fellows of Lawson Wilkins and founding members of the Pediatric Endocrine Society, of which I was later president, and all in some way served as mentors to my career development. The dinner was memorable for many reasons. Mainly, it highlighted their long friendship and collegiality and displayed their sense of humor, and gave me new insights into the history of pediatric endocrinology. I told them about my research in the genetics of growth hormone deficiency, the nearly 20 different developmental and transcription factors that were identified and resulted in growth hormone deficiency, and our most recent studies on the embryology of the pituitary. We discussed etiologies of combined pituitary hormone deficiency, which we had defined as the deficiency of more than one pituitary hormone due to a genetic mutation affecting multiple terminal cell types. An important and very humorous topic was age, and the debate began with who was older. A curious competition began, and Claude won, being born in December of 1923, and Bob was a second by only 6 months, June 1924. Mel lost that evening, being exactly 1 year and 363 days younger than Claude. We also discussed the critical aspect in the field, that of mentorship for the next generation. Indeed, Bob was the epitome of a nurturing mentor. He imparted rational scientific thought to the practice of pediatric endocrinology and became an inspiration to the younger generation. At the same time, he was committed to caring for children, impacting the lives of so many. Talking to the child and family was his first mantra. I have so many to thank. First, to thank the Human Growth Foundation for their continuing work to serve patients with growth disorders, the sponsors who value their mission, my research mentors who engaged with me to discuss interesting cases and believed with me that science can overcome disease, my trainees, past and current, now more than 100, who strove to more precisely diagnose growth hormone deficiency and who, along with me, grew scientifically. To thank the many colleagues who contributed to the work and provided patient samples, and to the patients and families who are committed to helping us to further the scientific mission and improve the health of others. And of course, to thank my family, who valued education and sacrifice for mine, my husband and career-long mentor Fred, my 2 daughters, Sarah and Anne, who are pursuing careers as physicians. This is an incredible honor for me to receive this award from the Human Growth Foundation in honor of this phenomenal man, Robert Blizzard, who I was privileged to know. I am honored to be part of the tradition of academic excellence that he embodied. I applaud the Human Growth Foundation for their commitment to expand and accelerate research in growth, to promote advocacy, and to promote awareness of growth disorders. It is with sincere gratitude that I accept this award and promise I will keep this award in my heart. In the spirit of Bob Blizzard, we can make a difference. I end with 2 wishes. May we return to a life without the threat of COVID, and may you and your families have a happy and healthy holiday season.
Congratulations, Dr. Radovic. Each year, the board of directors select a physician who had determination, tenacity, and a passion for leading the way with their vision of children reaching new heights. This year, the board selected Dr. Lourdes Ibanez as the 2022 Visionary Honoree. Here's why.
La Lourdes Ibanez, expliquem-ho als espectadors.
Lourdes is really visionary in her thinking and plan future scientific studies, research, and teaching all of us.
She has come up with many diagnoses for children and devoted her career to the academics and to teaching. It's a full trajectory that has really an impact on the pediatric endocrinology.
I've known Dr. Lourdes Ibanez for over 20 years. We're both pediatric endocrinologists. We're both interested in disorders of puberty and have collaborated since then.
I met Dr. Lourdes Ibanez a long time ago when I was a resident in pediatrics here at the Hospital Sant Joan de Déu in Barcelona, Spain. So I had the pleasure to be working with her since, and working with Dr. Lourdes Ibanez can be challenging at times. At the end of the day, it's very good for all of us because it helps us keep improving, and it's been great.
Her willingness to share and collaborate. We've worked together to develop guidelines for polycystic ovary syndrome in adolescents, and that involved a lot of exchange and dynamics between multiple investigators to come up with a written product.
I know Lourdes since childhood because we were neighbors during a lot of years. And since the beginning, Lourdes has a dedication and talent.
She's a wonderful person. She's kind, she's generous, she's conscientious, and very thoughtful.
And in addition of Dr. Ibanez being a great doctor, professor, researcher, she's also a wife, a mother of 2, a grandmother of 3, and she has a very rich personal life with many interests.
I I think her work has helped all of us conceptualize future scientific studies about obesity, metabolism, puberty, and working to solve issues with premature pubarchy and polycystic ovary syndrome, and develops new ideas based on what her experience and what her data show her.
La meva vocació per
Dr. Lourdes Ibanez really deserves the Visionary Award, and she has really devoted her career to the academics and to teaching. And she's actually a full professor in pediatrics, and she has made significant contributions in the field of pediatric endocrinology, specifically in the area of growth for the children who are born small for gestational age. That has really an impact on the pediatric endocrinology.
This dedication and her passion, the best way to demonstrate that this award to Lourdes is completely well deserved. Many congratulations to her.
Firstly, I would like to thank the Human Growth Foundation for choosing me for this prestigious Visionary Award 2021. The Human Growth Foundation is doing an impressive job and already has a long trajectory. The foundation is not only helping children with growth problems, but also strongly supporting research in this area. I would also like to thank my friend Fernando Vilella, my dear colleagues Selma Wichel, Jesus Argente and Marta Ramon, and my former fellow Paula Molina, who have agreed in participating in the assembling of this video. Fernando and I know each other since we were children, and that was indeed a long, long time ago, unfortunately. We have shared many experiences throughout all these years and continue to see each other quite often. We even share a small boat in Llafranc, which is a seaside village in the northeastern coast of Spain. Professor Argente himself was a recipient of this award in 2020, and I have had the honor and the pleasure to collaborate with him in several projects related to growth disorders in the past, and would certainly like to repeat the experience in the near future. Professor Wichel and I have been working together for many years in the field of adrenarche, and mainly in polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, which is the most common cause of hirsutism and menstrual disturbances in adolescent girls. We have co-authored a first international consortium update on the pathophysiology, diagnosis and treatment of this disorder in adolescents. I am currently working as pediatric endocrinologist at Hospital Sant Joan de Déu, which is a tertiary hospital located in the outskirts of Barcelona, taking care of children from all over Spain and also from other countries. I am chair of the research group on prenatal growth and adult diseases and director of the fellowship program in pediatric endocrinology at the University of Barcelona. I am also chair of pediatrics at the University of Barcelona and director of the pediatric endocrinology research program. Dr. Marta Ramon, as head of department of endocrinology, has helped me a lot over the last years to reach my objectives, including protecting my research time, and I am very grateful to her for this. As a result, our team has been able to obtain financial support from the European Commission to develop a first treatment for adolescent girls and young women with PCOS, based on pilot studies performed together with Professor Francis de Zeger, a colleague from Belgium. I would also like to thank Dr. Paula Molina, who is a former fellow of the fellowship program in pediatric endocrinology. Many of those fellows are based in Latin America, and it is a pleasure to learn that when they return to their countries, they can work as pediatric endocrinologists in hospitals that previously lacked this specialty. A big thank you to my research team, always ready and responsive to new challenges, and to my colleagues at the endocrinology department for their continuous support and help. And finally, many, many thanks to the children and their families for their patience and willingness to help us in our research.
Good evening. My name is Ron Rosenfeld, and it's my very great honor to introduce the 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award honoree, Dr. Michael Levine. Dr. Michael A. Levine is Chief Emeritus of Endocrinology and Diabetes and Director of the Center for Bone Health at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Dr. Levine holds the Lester Baker Endowed Chair as Professor Emeritus of Pediatrics and Medicine at the University of Pennsylvania Perelman School of Medicine. Dr. Levine completed his clinical training at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine and took dual fellowship training in endocrinology and genetics at the National Institutes of Health. His research interests focus on the genetic basis of endocrine signaling defects. His primary clinical interests are endocrine diseases that affect bone and mineral metabolism, particularly osteoporosis, primary hyperparathyroidism, and hypoparathyroidism. Dr. Levine has an active laboratory research program that complements and extends his clinical studies. He has identified and characterized the molecular basis of various inherited disorders of mineral metabolism, including familial hypoparathyroidism, pseudohypoparathyroidism, the McCune-Albright syndrome, and novel forms of vitamin D-dependent rickets. Dr. Levine is a member of numerous professional societies, including the American Society for Bone and Mineral Research, the American Society for Clinical Investigation, the Association of American Physicians, the American Pediatric Society, and the Johns Hopkins Society of Scholars, and has received numerous awards that include the Distinguished Endocrine Award from the American College of Endocrinology, the Frederick C. Barter Award from the American Society of Bone and Mineral Research, the International Award from the European Society for Pediatric Endocrinology, and the inaugural Senior Investigator Award from the Pediatric Endocrine Society.
He's a giant in the field of growth. He has extensively published. He has trained a lot of people.
He's so devoted to educating others and is always pushing to get to the next phase.
And that's what Michael's so brilliant at, is taking these snippets of information and putting those together and creating new knowledge.
It would be way too long to list his achievement, but certainly both in the growth and in the bone field, he's been a pioneer and remains a pioneer.
I've known Michael Levine for more than 30 years. I got to know him first as a teacher. His lectures in pediatric endocrinology, in disorders of calcium signaling, on growth, were among the best.
I first met Dr. Levine when he gave some review lectures on the topic of calcium metabolism. The lectures were always very well received. He's been our division director at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, but I've known him for over 15 years.
I met Michael Levine when I was interviewing for endocrine fellowship at Johns Hopkins. I remember his enthusiasm and his passion for what he was doing. It really sparked an interest for endocrinology in me.
I have known Dr. Michael Levine since 1995. I first met him when he interviewed me for a position of fellow here at Johns Hopkins University as endocrinology fellow, and in 1997 I joined his lab. When I met him, he was still practicing adult endocrinology in the bone field, so he was seeing a lot of elderly patients. He taught me a lot in that area too.
He could connect with kids as well as he could connect with adults. And I remember when I saw him interact with the pediatric patients, he had little animals that hung off of his stethoscope. So I think he's a fantastic doctor.
What they would say about Dr. Levine as a doctor is that he is extremely intelligent. He's really an expert of some very rare disorders that he may not have ever seen himself.
He is compassionate, and how much loved he is by his patients. I could also add how much he's loved by his trainees. His mentees are spread throughout the world that always talk about Michael and how much they learned from him.
When they talk about Dr. Levine as a person, they would say he's very well-rounded. He's highly excited by anything that's thought-provoking.
On top of it, he is incredibly witty. He has a great sense of humor, fun to be with.
And I would say that he is an outstanding family person, and that's always been really at the top of his priorities.
Michael deserves this award like nobody else. He literally wrote the book on disorders of calcium, disorders associated with abnormalities in cyclic AMP signaling, on many genetic diseases that are in this area of research.
It's not just for his achievements within his own special area of bone and calcium. It's really for how much he's pushed other people's careers. He really is good at finding out what our individual strengths are.
Through my work with Michael, I became passionate about bone and mineral metabolism. And I just remember when I was talking about projects, he was so excited and he said, you know, Suzanne, I have this specimen of tumor that's in the freezer. And if we can figure out what this tumor is making, we can understand phosphate metabolism. It was with that idea and his enthusiasm that I embarked on my career, helping develop a new treatment for patients with X-linked hypophosphatemia and tumor-induced osteomalacia. So I'm eternally indebted to Michael for really sparking a passion in me and helping me achieve my career goals.
In my particular case, he is the one who helped me identifying a mutation in a group of dwarfs in northeast Brazil. And he was very gracious after he handed me this great project, allowed it to be sort of the center point of my own career. But I couldn't think of anybody else who deserves this award more than him. And I'm sorry I won't be able to join him in the celebration. I want to send him all of my best, my congratulations to him and his wife and his lovely children and grandchildren.
So please join me in introducing and applauding the 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award honoree, Dr. Michael Levine. Thank you.
I am overwhelmed with gratitude to have been selected to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Human Growth Foundation. I am deeply honored to have my career recognized in this way by the foundation, as there can be no greater distinction than to be recognized by one's peers. I would also like to thank my wife, Barbara, and my daughters, Sarah and Elizabeth, for their unwavering support, confidence, and of course, forbearance, without which I would not have been able to pursue the career that is recognized today. I have been fortunate to have had the opportunity to develop a career as a physician scientist. And it means so much to me that the work that I am so passionate about also resonates with others. The late Scottish theologian William Barclay once observed, there are two great days in a person's life, the day we are born and the day we discover why. For me, my why has been realized through the opportunity to pursue a profession as a physician investigator. And over the course of my career, I have benefited greatly from many people who inspired and taught me and who offered constant encouragement and support. I would especially like to acknowledge the role of my early research mentors, particularly Alan Spiegel, Steve Marks, and the late Jerry Auerbach at the National Institutes of Health, from whom I learned that the scientific method can never be too rigorous, and that data integrity is more important than publishing precedents. I am also grateful for the guidance and friendship of my past colleagues and clinical mentors at Johns Hopkins, the late Harold Harrison and Claude Mijon, who welcomed me into pediatric endocrinology. From Harold, I learned pediatric bone disease, and from Claude, I learned pediatric endocrinology and so much more through his unique view of the world. They both shared with me their joy of discovery, encouraged my commitment to research, and led me to appreciate the rewards of helping children reach their full potential. I have benefited also from the support of NIH over my career, and I would like to thank the many study sections that provided critical suggestions that always improved my experiments. And the funding of the NIH has sustained my work over these past 40 years. And of course, I have benefited greatly from the opportunity to work in 3 great institutions who provided support and tremendous resources, both physical and collegial. These have been Johns Hopkins, the Cleveland Clinic, and the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. These centers embrace the shared core values of discovery and innovation, excellence in patient care, and dedication to education. And their continuous pursuit of excellence has always challenged me to do better. A last note of thanks is to my colleagues. I would note that science is a team sport, and I would be remiss if I did not thank the many collaborators, students, technicians, and yes, even study subjects and clinical patients who assisted me over my career and who always allowed me to take my work seriously, but never allowed me to take myself too seriously. As this is a Lifetime Achievement Award, it is perhaps fitting for me to reflect a bit about my career. The Human Growth Foundation has as a core mission the goal of helping children with growth disorders. And as a pediatric endocrinologist, I share this mission. In fact, I've often told pediatric endocrinology trainees and fellows that the broad spectrum of our clinical work can be distilled really into just 2 conditions: growth disorders and diabetes. When you think about it, thyroid conditions, adrenal problems, pituitary problems, all manifest as impaired growth. And even puberty will often manifest as a growth disorder. And when you think about it, a disturbance in growth is even a common presenting feature of diabetes. So in effect, pediatric endocrinology is not just about growth, it's all about growth. So how does growth relate to my own primary area of interest, the field of bone and mineral metabolism? I was drawn into growth through my interest in investigating children who had disorders of hormone signaling, such as pseudohypoparathyroidism. Over time, I realized that growth hormone problems were common in many of the patients I studied. Looking back, this really should not have been too much of a surprise to me or to anyone, because when you think about it, if the skeleton is not able to grow and develop properly, then the child will not be able to grow and develop properly either. My work in growth led me to Brazil, where with Roberto Salvatore, then a fellow in my laboratory at Hopkins, we identified the genetic basis for an unusual form of growth hormone deficiency in a very large and extended family of little people living in the jungle in Itabaiana. With Emily Germain Lee, we identified growth hormone deficiency as a common complication of pseudohypoparathyroidism type 1A and developed a mouse model of pseudohypoparathyroidism that is still being used today in order to dissect many of the biological features of this condition. And more recently with Jeff Roizen at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, we've identified new genetic forms of rickets that also impair growth. Perhaps in closing, I would offer a few words of advice and encouragement to younger investigators who are pursuing careers as physician scientists. It's often said that religion and science represent polar opposites in Western philosophy. I prefer to think that the 2 concepts are not so different, and that science is a form of religion. You must have unrelenting faith in your ideas and beliefs, even when others challenge you and you find yourself coming up short on proof. Remember to always ask important questions and be willing to take risks as you seek answers, but never sacrifice your integrity. And it's important to always share your knowledge and your resources, even with your competitors. This will make you a better scientist. And remember, always, the goal is to improve health, not advance ego. Thank you again for this great honor. It reminds me that my work is far from over and inspires me to continue with even more dedication than before.
Hi, Michael. As Vice President of the Human Growth Foundation, I want to say congratulations. But I also want to express my own personal congratulations. I first met you about 35 years ago when I was a medical student at Johns Hopkins and you were an assistant professor at that time. I had listened to your lecture on Albright hereditary osteodystrophy and was fascinated. I then went on to hear your many talks and lectures on the topic throughout my residency and pediatric endocrinology fellowship. But then I had the incredible good fortune as a young faculty to have you not only as my division chief, but as my mentor. Your mentorship laid the foundation for my entire career, and ever since then, you have been such an inspiring force in my life, and for many, many other mentees. You are someone I have always aspired to be. I saw you as the true physician scientist. You worked hard and passionately at both bench research and with patients, truly bedside to bench, someone who was tremendously dedicated, knowledgeable, and always challenging his mentees by asking questions and helping us to work hard to find the answers. And in spite of being incredibly brilliant, you were also incredibly human, always caring about your mentees, not only their careers, but as individuals. I want to close by reading the last few sentences of this book, Uncharted Seas, that I know you have. The book is actually from an unpublished manuscript written by Fuller Albright and donated to Countway Library by Albright's wife after his death. It says it was also written by the famous Dr. Ellsworth as well, although they think probably mostly by Fuller Albright. The last few sentences are in the editor's afterword, and they're very beautiful, the editor being Lynn Loriot. And the ending of the book basically talks about the two greats in American medicine, William Osler, the great physician, and Fuller Albright, the great clinician scientist. His way, meaning Fuller Albright's, lived for a time in those that worked with him, but they are mostly gone now. The tradition is in jeopardy of being lost. Who will the next generation of clinical scientists look to for example and inspiration? I fear that the best of our generation will be beacons too distant to be seen clearly. These young people will be on uncharted waters and out of sight of land. They will need to set their course on a star. Fuller Albright is our star in clinical science. But Michael, what I want to say to you is that you have been my star and the star for so many, many mentees. You helped us navigate the seas when we were out of sight of land, and you led us to our individual shores. I would never have found my shore without you, and for that, I am forever grateful. Congratulations, Michael.
Congratulations to all of the honorees. Thank you all for joining us this evening for the 17th Annual Human Growth Foundation Virtual Awards Gala. We hope to see each and every one of you next year.